Hello, this is a Chessodoro game review. It was a rapid 15 plus 10 game between 1500 rating players. Student is playing white. e4, knight c6. A rare opening. It's called the Nimzovich opening, I think. Knight f3. Good move. Another good option would be just to take the center, yeah, and see what black does. Maybe e5, maybe d5. Knight f3, okay. And now we kind of transpose to the open game, yeah. White is playing Scotch game, d4, and very bad move for black, f6. So student says he made a weak move. I totally agree. This is an awful move. It weakens this diagonal, yeah, a2, g8. It takes good square of the knight on f6. Generally weakens the king, so it will be not easy to castle as well. Overall, terrible move. As Feingold would say, don't make f6, yeah. So I think, yeah, white immediately gets huge advantage here. Bishop c4, already taking that diagonal. Bishop e7, and now student played knight c3. Okay move, but if opponent makes such mistakes, yeah, we have to usually punish them in the opening. So here, instead of knight c3, you had already a tactic, take the pawn. Now first thing, if he takes with the knight, then you go takes, queen h5, typical move, yeah. If they go f6, they kind of lose this pawn. And we go castles, for example, and this, yeah, and it's overwhelming position for white. Black still cannot even castle. So you're up a pawn with attack, so almost winning, yeah, for a good player this position. So, and instead he could capture back with a pawn, but then we have a very typical move in such cases, queen d5, yeah, and how he defends f7, yeah, that's the big question. He cannot defend with a knight, we just take it, and still f7 is not defended yet. He cannot do this, yeah, trying to escape with the king, because we just checkmate him. And he cannot like free himself for some piece to come to e7, yeah, to defend like check. There is no time for that. Yeah, we win at least a piece now, because f7 is still hanging, yeah, queen f7, and we take the bishop most likely, yeah, that is the best line for black to not get mated immediately. So here you already had close to winning, I would say, yeah, move. You played knight c3, also good, because you just develop. d6, but at least he is now defending this pawn, yeah, so no longer we can take, because he might just capture back with the f pawn and try to kind of open at least a line, yeah, or he could capture like this. We don't want to give away the center, yeah. This pawn would be traded for this actually, yeah, because this will take its place, so we don't want to do that. Student played d5, so d5 is kind of close the bishop, yeah, in a way. It's a controversial choice, I would say, because two ideas are clashing together. We have a kind of initiative on this diagonal, so we really don't want to close it, but in other case d5 gains space, yeah, and gains the tempo, so this move is okay. You could argue maybe don't play d5, yeah, and go for development further, yeah, maybe want to castle long even, something like this. Sample line could be like if they start capturing everything, yeah, they are underdeveloped, so this really doesn't lose a piece because of this trick. And again, you see queen d5, it's a repeating idea in this game, and they cannot really take again because checkmate is coming. And we kind of, with this threat, we win back this pawn. So here, yeah, and white is again huge advantage. We're gonna castle long, and we are so much ahead in development, yeah. We're almost in the middle game. Black is still playing the opening, so okay, d5 was chosen in the game, also good. Knight is driven back, and student continues development, very good. He says he was looking for a way to punish him, but decided not to hurry and stay calm and play simple, try to develop and increase pressure. Yeah, that's good, and I would probably choose even long castle, yeah, to finish development here. yeah, you see how black's pieces are fighting for squares. They are like out of air. Yeah, both bishop and knight are fighting for this square. Yeah, he cannot like develop this way because we can maybe just take and go here. Queen h5 is coming. So black has very hard time to even bring his pieces out. Yeah, he has so little space. Okay, bishop d7 played, queen d2, excellent move. And now black is kind of playing towards his own goal, yeah, because basically he's opening the position for us. Here student chose castle, which is good, but maybe we could even play more aggressively, like take, yeah. We wouldn't really want to take such pawns, yeah, because it gives away the space. But in this case it's concrete because we are opening the game, because black is so underdeveloped. Yeah, we are already playing, we're fully almost developed. So, and here there could be some tactics. Again, you see the same idea is happening with queen d5. So this diagonal was the key in this game, and we could go for some crazy attacks like sacking the piece. But if you like to play more calmly, yeah, that's a good idea. Short castle as well, what student chose. And now black played a really bad move. Yeah, they're behind in development and they're opening the position on themselves. So really bad understanding. They should have at least closed the position. Yeah, it's still bad for black, but at least they're not getting checkmated like on the spot. But here, the after CD, student also missed, again, one game-winning idea. I think you should just take with the queen, yeah. And same idea, yeah, like we've seen many times already. This is super weak. He cannot go here, yeah, just take it. How is he defending f7? Yeah, that's the question. Queen c8 maybe to give king some space, but then we can come in and bishop will be hanging if we take here. We could still take here, yeah, and take the rook, but maybe just place the bishop out of attack. Next move is coming, yeah, there is no way to prevent this move. And with a crushing attack, yeah, king is in the center, we're winning basically. So this was missed by student, yeah. Again, this queen f7 idea. He played bishop d5, bishop c6, but still white is like so much better here. Knight h4, another option could be just bring the last piece into the game, yeah. Knight h4, he tried to come in here, kind of provoked this move, came back, capture, capture, and he says at some point I could feel I had a very big advantage despite the material was equal. I totally agree. Like, look at white's position. They're in the middle game, yeah. Black is, what is he doing, yeah? He's in the opening still. So these are all undeveloped. So knight c6, a3. Well, no need for some such slow moves, yeah. We need to hurry up, yeah, because development is not a long-term advantage, yeah. It's disappearing advantage. If you slow down, yeah, opponent will catch up in development and this advantage will disappear. So you should just crash through, yeah, just attack immediately, no need for any preparations. Something like this could happen, yeah, and just go through, try to attack the position. And knight c7 is hanging here, you're opening up stuff before he castles. Okay, a3, queen d7, now you played b4, but you kind of wasted a move. But opponent also played bad move, yeah. He needs to finish development, so he needed to play something like, I don't know. Yeah, knight, he cannot come here, yeah. So that's bad. At least maybe hide the king, yeah, and somehow get the pieces out. At least try that, but not challenge us, yeah, we are strong. Yeah, now excellent move, a4, breaking through. Here you just needed to just capture, yeah, no need for any strengthening up. You're already crashing through, so why not capture? Yeah, he cannot capture back. You're driving his knight away, and then you're crashing through once more, yeah? Through the file, through everything, yeah? You're just opening everything up, getting to his king. Queen d3, okay, now you captured. c4, good move. You could also maybe take here, that was another option. c4, great. Now you capture here. I quite don't like this move because you have double pawns, yeah? It's not a mistake, but overall you could capture like this, just to keep this pawn structure intact. Or even queen d5, yeah, since you're up already a pawn, I think, yeah, so you could just exchange the queens, because you're winning another pawn, yeah, a7, who is defending a7? No one, yeah, he's underdeveloped. So you could just win this, and then you'll have some passers and win the game. Okay, so you took here. Okay, at least he's trying now to castle, but you see how many moves it has taken him for to develop. Okay, you play rook a8, idea is clear, double up on this weak a7, but you could have improved it, yeah? If you have on the open line some outposts like this, yes, pawn supporting, why not go here immediately? You're also making additional threat like this, yeah? So castles, you brought the rooks, double the rooks, bishop b6, and you avoided the exchange, I don't know for what reason. This is weak, this is a defender, yeah? So if we want to keep this weak, let's exchange the defender. Let's do this. And if they take with the queen, yeah, this pawn is still weak. If they go this, we go to the outpost, yeah? And again, white is winning. Just don't forget maybe to make some, yeah, luft or space for the king. So, yeah, you went here. And now the game kind of began to turn a bit, because black managed at least to castle. White is still better, yeah, because you're up a pawn here. But the game is starting to turn, yeah, a bit, because you didn't see the clear plan here. That was my kind of understanding. King f7, you played king h2, yeah, kind of waiting move, not clear what you're doing. You still need, I think, to exchange that bishop as something like this. If they take here, it's risky. Your queen is coming in, yeah, you're crashing through the rooks. So king h2, kind of kicked away the bishop, and bishop c1, kind of passive move. You need to retreat here and again do the same stuff. Yeah, you cannot really take because you take on a7. And now you're kind of placed pieces in a weird squares, weird regrouping. Yeah, this queen is blocking the bishop. We should have exchanged this guy. So g5, h4. Okay, student says he was trying to think deep and take time. Yeah, so my guess was he didn't know what to do here. And he said opponent equalized and exposed your king. So, but actually you're exposing your king by moving this pawn, trying to, yeah, expose at the same time his king. So it's kind of double-edged, yeah. I think strategically you needed to play against this weak pawn. Don't go for attack where you don't have enough resources. Yeah, king now is safe for black at the moment. Yeah, so don't have enough resources to attack king. Maybe later when we crash through the queen side, but for now you needed to play. Yeah, all your forces are looking here, yeah, instead not on the king side, so you need to play on the right side. Okay, but okay, you tried to force still this attack somehow, and you sacked the piece, which was a very risky move, I would say. Here he said I sacrificed my knight to expose his king, and checkmate somehow with my queen and bishop. Yeah, but this was a very risky sacrifice, because I think black had simple defense here. Yeah, he brought the knight. Usually knights are best defenders of the king. Close by, yeah, very hard to give checks now with the queen, you see. And the knight is close to the king. And queen f5 you played, clearly intending this. And here he blundered. He had the defensive move. He just need to mobilize more pieces into attack and try to exchange your queen. If he done this, I think you would have even lost the game. So see how risky the sacrifice. Fortunately for you, he didn't spot this, and now you're winning the knight because he blundered. He doesn't have any way to defend the knight. Gave a check, made this active move, but now you're winning the knight, and we're back on the same material, and you're even 3 pawns up. So you should be winning this position. King g8, queen g6. Student says it was not enough and I made some more inaccuracies, so eventually decided to continue checking to get a draw, and I was afraid I will not be able to win if I let him go. Well, here you shouldn't go for any perpetual, yeah, because you'll have so many more pawns up. At least make this check and just, I don't know, rook is attacked, yeah, so what should we do? Just bring the rook out of attack, yeah? No need to make any perpetual. You need to stabilize position. This is defended, yeah, so no worries. Our queen is super active here. We want to come here. Yeah, this is just winning for white. Or you could do like engine move is this, but it's for this level super hard to find such a move. The idea is we crash through like this. Yeah, you see a nice tactic pin. But rook c1 is enough, yeah, to win the game. So here you shouldn't go for any perpetual, yeah, because we went here, but now your queen and the rook is attacked, yeah, so you're kind of forcing yourself into the corner to do this perpetual, where still you could have played here this, but it's a bit harder now to spot this move. Yeah, you're kind of counter-attacking back their rooks, so if they capture at some moment here, you're gonna capture their rooks. So, but you already see, you kind of forced yourself in the corner, and then need to find good moves to kind of win the game. But you went for this perpetual. So now your queen and the rook are attacked at the same time. Still, like you could play for a win here if you want. But for example, yeah, blocking, it's not clear anymore what's happening here. Maybe engine will give advantage, but for humans, black might defend this position somehow. Yeah, so another option could have been, instead of repeating these moves, you could go for queen g4 and sack the exchange and kind of even play this endgame, yeah, because you have many pawns up, like not to give a perpetual, because on time I think there was no time trouble. Yeah, you played really fast this game. From 15 minutes you had like 6 or 7 minutes still left, so you could have I think important moment to think was here actually, what to do, yeah, how to win the game. You just needed to consolidate. Don't go for any perpetuals, don't let him bring defenders with tempo, just give one check and move your attack piece out of the way, and then he's helpless basically after this move. Okay, so let's conclude the game. Let's summarize the key moments. So opening was really badly played by black, by your opponent. f6, one of the worst moves in this position actually, f6. Of course he needed to capture, yeah, here to continue, like in theory. Play f6, we talked about, weakens so many things. And you could have already, I think second moment, you had a tactic with here, yeah, when he played bishop, you had this move. So you had this queen d5 reoccurring theme in this game, very important, yeah. Queen d5 at many moments during the game. Yeah, mentioned that. You were basically borderline winning, just needed to make some forcing moves. You missed this queen d5 on some occasions, but here you just needed to make some forcing moves, like push the pawn, open the game at many moments, yeah. You played you developed, but didn't force through till the end, yeah. You need to do that, because development is a temporary advantage, yeah. It disappears if opponent catches up, which actually kind of happened in this game, yeah. He managed to castle, so that advantage disappeared. Okay, what's next? Towards the end, you were kind of choosing the wrong strategy, I think. You doubled up the rooks, yeah, doubled up the rooks on the A line, and you needed basically to exchange these guys. Even if they lose this weakness, yeah, you still have an outpost, yeah, so you're doing better here, yeah. You would win the A file, fight for the A file, and then you exchange pieces and crash through, yeah, to the 7. So that was wrong strategy. You chose to attack on the king side for some reason, when your pieces were on the queen side. Okay, and what next? Yeah, sack knight g5 was risky there. Yeah, when you sacked the knight, like here, you could have even lost the game, yeah, if he spotted this queen c8 move. Suddenly attacking here, yeah, trying to exchange. I think you would be losing here, yeah, because he's up a piece. Well, you still have some pawns, it would be still a long fight at your level, but yeah, that was an option to defend, bring mobilized defenders, yeah. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this game, and see you next time. Bye bye.